Welcome to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Join me as I dive into powerful stories of resilience and strength. In each episode, I sit down with guests who have faced similar journeys of coercive control, financial manipulation, and personal invasion. Together, we uncover the shadows, share our experiences, and inspire others to reclaim their lives. Tune in, listen, and be a part of the community that stands tall against the forces that seek to control us. Hello, everyone. One thorn of experience is worth a whole wilderness of warnings. So I've talked about the transhumanist agenda a few times before on some of my podcasts, but I'd like to introduce you to a woman, a doctor who I follow on Substack. Her name is Dr. Anna Mihalcea. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Entities that are not biological as conscious. But it's not going to be, okay, machines on the right side of the room, humans on the left. If you talk to a biological human, they will have lots of non-biological processes going on in their body and brain. Those computers will be out in the cloud, so the thinking of that quote person isn't even just in their body and brain, even in the non-biological portion. It's out on the cloud. So it's going to be all mixed up. There's not going to be a clear distinction between human and machine. The bottom line is we are one human-machine civilization.
It will not only change how we communicate, how we produce, how we consume, it will change actually us, our own identity.
Not growing the virus at all, but just getting the sequences, getting the appropriate protein and sticking it on a self-assembling nanoparticle that is much, much more immunogenic.
Injecting robots into a human's bloodstream sounds terrifying. But what if I told you science has developed so far that they are actually doing it on purpose?
Making the mRNA is really easy and really cheap, and that's the magic of this thing. We just need to mess around. There's a lot of lipid nanoparticles, and some are very self-assembling.
Let's take a look at a 2013 presentation delivered by Israeli scientist Dr. Ido Bachelet.
Developed so far that they are actually doing it on purpose.
Species Homo sapiens, if we survive, will probably have so much power that we will change ourselves using various technologies so that our descendants will no longer be Homo sapiens like us.
These transhumanists who have literally a satanic hate for humanity, the creation of God, want to digitize every cell on Earth, every microbe, and track it, as well as, again, upload it into what's called the metaverse. I am a certified chelation practitioner, and the amount of metals that I'm pulling out of people is extraordinary. So we have been systematically poisoned, but not just us, but all life forms on Earth. The rain is filled with this poison. The trees are sucking it up into their root system. So their agenda ultimately is, number one, to fuse biology with technology. The ultimate end result is that machines will take over all biology. This is an evolutionary step that we must fight at all costs, for they want to exterminate all natural humans. When you synthetically alter the human DNA that has a very specific vibratory frequency, that is also frequency specific with all of nature, we are all interconnected with the oneness of creation. That harmony is being disturbed and is out of sync when we are fusing with technology. So they're creating literally a Borg hive mind in which there are no free thinkers, there is no free will, you're just simply following the program. So we all must stand up and insist that the creation of God and the diversity of our biosphere is so beautiful, so evolutionary, magnificent. I have seen the same blood changes of these filamental self-assembling structures that are literally replacing the blood and are using the blood as a substrate to create these blood clots. And I've seen extraordinary blood clots in the unvaccinated as well. This movement is really about the final destruction of the divine human being, and we must resist at all costs. At this point, it's a fight for our survival, and I believe that denial kills people. If they're not aware of this and they don't want to do anything about it, they don't want to hear it, they have this stuff growing in them like a cancer, and eventually they will succumb to it.
So I've talked about us reaching critical mass as humanity. If we don't come together and know our spirituality side of things, and I'm not talking about going to church, it has nothing to do about religion. It has to do about spirit, universal intelligence, and us connecting to that. As I've previously stated, I feel like religion was created to control the masses, to collect more money for their corporations and organizations in order to deploy this transhumanist agenda. And you can bury your head in the sand, pretend it doesn't exist, and the world will just keep getting worse and worse until it's over. Like, what's the end game? The end game needs to be critical mass, critical awareness, critical higher vibrational beings coming together and forming the thought for the betterment of humanity and its survival, or we won't be here. And as I always say, stay strong. We've got this. Thank you for listening to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I hope today's episode has shed light on the experiences that too often remain hidden. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please reach out to me. Remember, you're not alone and your voice matters. Follow me on social media and subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay strong and keep unveiling the shadows.